The trends that I find the most interesting are, one, what I talked about earlier is content is a competitive advantage. So the coolest thing about having a startup is where you create an idea, you have put something out in the world, and then somebody comes to you and knows how to use what you created better than you even thought of. And that's the point that we're getting to right now. These guys who are building their whole businesses based off of content. So I think thinking of strategic ways of doing deeper content, more robust content, and more volume content now that you can have platforms like Verblio to use, I think is super interesting. That's going to be probably a little way off from some of your, from this audience. The second is video. We all know that video is going to be part of content. I think so Brian Halligan, the CEO of HubSpot, came on stage in a very famous speech in 2016 and said that video should be 50% of all of your content right now. And they didn't even offer a video product at the time. So it was a pretty interesting speech. You must have really, like, that's the spirit of inbound. You say what's really good for people as opposed to what's good for yourself sometimes. But there was really no direction of what video meant in content. And so what I think one of the clear patterns of marketing history is that most trends follow previous trends. And so you've already created marketing or your content strategy. I think video is going to be more a part of it. I think it's going to be more a part of it in a few different ways. One is, I think that all written content is going to have embedded videos in it where you capture the video for whatever audience. Maybe this relates back to the mobile. Maybe that's a better answer to the mobile question. Your content should be easier to view because nobody wants to read on mobile. So that's why we acquired this Automagical, our video platform, to translate our written content into video content. The second is going to be turning that content into micro content and having quick promotional videos. And the third is going to be a much more cost-effective way to create these explainer videos. So instead of having one $10,000 video that is, that is on your website and it's stagnant forever because you don't want to pay that $10,000 again, there's going to be a right balance of how to do explainer videos piece by piece. Right now we're selling them, for under $100 that we're kind of working on up-leveling our product to move from embedded videos to explainer videos. I think that's trend number 2. And I think trend number 3 is all about vertical expertise and bringing in more focus on industries. Most of SEO trends has been more generalist, writing generalist content for the last decade. And it's going to keep getting more comprehensive. So I talked about word length with legal is now over 3,000 words is what Rankings.io thinks is the most powerful. That's what they've tested is most effective. That's not true in every vertical.
Yeah.
So a lot of the verticals, I think just around 1,000 is our sweet spot right now. There were studies like a couple years ago that 2,346 words was the exact perfect word length, which is kind of ridiculous, but kind of interesting at the same time. Everything is going to keep getting longer. You're going to have to get better at telling your story and sharing value because marketing trends don't get easier as they get more evolved.
Are people reading those 1,000 words? Are people reading more, or is that just what's performing better?
So it's an interesting question. It's a great question. Everybody wants to know that. So they are getting more eyeballs for longer periods of time. When the studies that I've read about how many people actually, like what it would take to actually read the entire thing, is that people are reading 20% of a long form piece of content. So you write more to attract more people because you've basically, by writing that much, they assume you must have a lot to say. This is my guess of why this would exist. But it does mean that they're looking at them a lot longer and they're engaging with them more, whether they're reading end to end or not. Probably the same is true for every New Yorker article that I try to read.
Feel like you should read it, right? You'll be smarter if you do.
Exactly. I started out, I get the feel of it.
I'm so intellectual. I make it to the bottom of this article.
I'm going to put it on top of my stack.